Hello, solopreneurs, and especially authors and aspiring authors. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Samarthya Selva, your go-to digital marketing pro and your productivity coach. I'm lovingly called the Get Shit Done coach. Last time we had a very amazing conversation with Richard Morden, who shared his insights on emotional healing and growth through his new founded modality called Time Sweeps. And today I have a very, very special guest for you. If this is the first time you're watching my video, this channel is focused on helping solopreneurs and small businesses succeed with tips, strategies, and interviews with people that you really ought to know. We navigate deep into topics like productivity, personal development, and effective marketing to help you get shit done. Now, I'm super pumped to introduce my guest, Judy Baker, the Book to Moneymaker coach. I've recently participated in one of Judy's several workshops. She teaches workshops to authors, and oh my, she brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to the table. And I'm really excited for the insights she's going to be sharing with us on this channel today. So let me introduce you to Judy. Judy supports writers at all levels, at every point in their journey. So she offers personalized one-on-one consultations, very intense coaching, engaging workshops, and comprehensive programs that help writers and authors succeed. Judy teaches writers how to incorporate marketing into everyday conversations. She shows them how small strategic actions can increase awareness, how to attract attention, build connections, and boost book sales. Isn't that what every author would want? Judy, whenever we met, you talk about using voice-to-text technology as a significant time saver for authors. Can you please tell us more about what tools you use and how these tools that you use have transformed your writing process?
When you asked me about voice to text, I remember the day that I first learned about this. And this is a long time ago. There was a program that was available both on the Mac and the PC versions, and it was Dragon Dictate. And I can still remember it was introduced at one of the Macworld events in San Francisco, because I live in Sonoma, so I'm not very far away. And I walked up to the booth, and this is hysterical. Okay, because you can hear that I have a fairly plain way of speaking. So the woman says, "Oh, here, do a test and just read these couple sentences." Dragon did not like my vocal pattern. It just said, "Blah." And so it was not 100%. And she said, "But you can train it and it'll get better." And with that, I decided to take a chance and buy it. And I used it for probably, 15 years. And you know what happened?
What?
Then Apple incorporated, and I happen to be primarily an Apple person. Apple incorporated voice to text technology into everything. Or so they said. It's not as smooth, but I was doing that. But when Dragon said we're not supporting the Mac anymore, I just about cried, because by now, after over 10 years, I had trained that system. I was using it all the time. I would take, I'd either be using my iPhone or I'd be at my computer on my iPad, and I'd be dictating, and magically words were showing up. And you know what? When we speak, if you're speaking English, now other languages, it's probably even faster. When you speak, it's on average of 140 words per minute. Let that sink in. Now, I happen to be very fast on the keyboard, but the fastest I ever was clocked at was about 100 words per minute. And when I'm writing or composing, it goes way down. So the reason why I use voice to text, and now I use it in Otter, it's built into Word, Microsoft Word. It's built into almost
about every program we use.
Exactly, including your browser. Whether you're using Bing or Chrome or Safari, you can talk to the little puppy. And if you're using ChatGPT, you can use your voice too. And so I can think about a concept and get my stuff out there. And now I've got a draft. And from there, I'll go and edit it. But when my fingers are on the keyboard, you know what I'm doing? I'm editing. I'm not creating. And that is one of the primary reasons for using voice to text. And then this other little thing that happened, I broke my wrist in 2020.
Ouch.
Right-handed. I couldn't use this for about, it was more than 2 months before I could get back to doing it. And so I was still able to do, I could compose emails, I could compose letters, I could compose web copy using my voice. I love it. So that's why
Incredible.
Yeah, it's awesome. And what are some of the ways you use speech to text, Summer? I'm curious, is that a technology that you use as well?
Absolutely. I cannot live without it. What do I use it for? Mostly to speak into my phone. All my notes are written down. Everything creative that I write is written down. When an idea comes, there's not enough speed to write things down on typewriters.
Yes.
So it's easy to dictate to Siri, and Siri is just going to write those words down. I feel like a queen.
I do too. And the other thing, and you and I were talking a little bit about this earlier, there are some words that I know by sight, but if I was going to tell you how to spell them, we would be here till next week, of course, unless I went and looked something up. But if I'm speaking it and I speak it reasonably clearly, it's going to just keyboard for me, and suddenly that word is right there in front of me. And even if it's a little off, I've now saved myself a whole lot of angst and time because I've captured those ideas and now I can do something with them. A tool that I then went to in this interim, I started using otter.ai. And the reason I picked that was I could just turn my phone on if I was at a networking event and there was a presentation or we were chatting at the table. I turn that on. Suddenly I've got a transcript and I can then use it. Plus, because it syncs to the cloud, I could pick it up on a different device later. And I purchased a pro account because at the time it was the only other thing out there that did it wholesale, that I could then export that document as either a TXT file, which would bring it into something very basic, or I could put it out as a Word file or as a PDF. And so I liked that flexibility. But today, we've got a bunch more tools that will do similar things and more. So there's Descript, there's Cast Magic. But as I said, you don't really need an extra anything. You can even dictate into notes. If you're on a Mac, you can dictate into notes. You can dictate into Good Notes. I think you can do it in Xtiles too, if you're making a memo. So, think about how you want to get your ideas out so that you can then do the next thing. And so using your speech is a good way to do that.
I totally agree. I remember coming to your workshop and then you said you celebrate the benefits of using Canva Pro account for authors. Absolutely. And you specifically said something about the one-touch resize feature. I want to hear more. I think everybody would who is listening here. How can you tell us how this specific feature has helped you streamline your content creation, and how is it helping you repurpose your content on various platforms?
Well, when you go into Canva, if you are on a regular account, you can do some of these things, but the magic resize is only in Canva Pro.
Canva Pro.
And the reason why I again said I need that is I would create an image. And for authors, okay, imagine this. You are taking some content, a little snippet from your book, and you're creating a quote with an image behind it. And now say you started out, you decided you were going to post that on, say, Instagram. But you're going, oh, wait a minute. I'd like that to go on Facebook, and I'd like it to be on LinkedIn because I'm going to create either a newsletter or a post. Oh, and I want it to go, okay. So think you want it to go into maybe 3 or 4 other formats. Well, in the old days, now I was a graphic designer. That was my profession. It's what I did for a living. And in the old days, I would have to create the document, and then I'd have to go and manually resize everything, which isn't insignificant in terms of time, because if you're going from a square that's 1080 by 1080, and now you're creating something that's 1280 by 720, you've got to make some adjustments in that design or it's going to look really crappy.
That is correct.
One size resize in Canva, you can not only resize, it'll make a copy of your design if that's what you want to do. You can say, oh, if you've got several I'm going to say call them pages within your Canva document. You don't have to say, oh, I want all of these to be copied and resized. You can select, this is a newer feature, you can select which of those pages you want to resize. And you can say, oh, I want it to resize to, I have a YouTube banner I need. Oh, I need a Facebook post. Oh, I need, whatever else it is you need. And with a touch of a button, it copies your document, it outputs it to a new file, and it has all those different sizes. And you may need to make a few little minor tweaks, but I would say every single time I've saved hours of time because it's close enough that now I just have to do a few little adjustments. So that right away, if you're branding, you want stuff to show up in multiple places.
Absolutely.
This is the bomb. Totally the bomb. It's fabulous.
I get it. I've been using a similar tool, but when I heard about Canva Pro from you, I already heard about the tool, and I had a free account, of course, and I upgraded to a pro account when you said it's a must for authors.
Oh, yes. It is.
A couple of months ago, I did upgrade, so I'm going to make my best use of this account by harnessing this particular feature. And Judy, what other tools would you say are a must use for authors? Can you tell us how these tools have impacted efficiency and engagement mostly for your audience?
Well, number one, this is for you as an author to really take advantage of everything that you're doing. There's a tool, and again, I've used it now for over 10 years. It's called Scrivener. Yes. And if you've heard about it, but if you haven't heard about it, it is a tool that, do I have one sitting here? Remember in school, we had binders.
Of course.
Scrivener is an electronic binder. But what Scrivener does that this physical binder doesn't do. Say I started, remember we were talking about doing voice to text. Well, what if I dictated something and I exported that as a Word file? Well, then this little Word file is sitting out here by its lonesome. Scrivener is a binder, and you can suck in your Word documents right into Scrivener. You can pull websites into Scrivener because you're going to be doing research. You can bring PDFs in, you can bring images in. And so now you have a central location where all of your stuff lives. You can segment the binder however you would like. There are templates for Scrivener, but now all of your content is in one place. And I think you'll remember I said, do you know where your assets are? So Scrivener, you could have multiple binders, but you might have one binder, but then just say, oh, here's all of my business copy. Here are all my emails. Here are all my blog posts. Here are my newsletters. Scrivener is so sweet because again, it didn't originally, but it does now. It works on all my devices. So again, I can write on my iPad and then go open that same document on my computer or on my phone, and you can share a binder or just parts of it with other people. So I've worked with clients and I said, okay, you put your stuff in here. I'll set up the folder. This is where you put it, and they can access it and add
and collaborate. Wow.
It's
I didn't know Scrivener could do that much. I thought it's just a tool for writing, organizing your written content.
Nope. But it is where, so you're writing, you've got a couple books that you're writing. Think about this. When you're writing a book in Microsoft Word, that might be great initially, but when it comes time to move stuff around, Word isn't the best choice.
Absolutely not.
You can't see everything.
Yes.
But in Scrivener, you could write a scene, a chapter, a section of your book, and then you say, oh, you know what? I want to look at this a little differently. You can look at it like it's a cork board. So each of those individual pieces are now on a cork board. And if you're like me, you tend to go, oh, you know what? That actually should go here. And this other part should go down here. And now I can just rearrange it. And you can also output from Scrivener. How I was saying with Canva, you can select what things you're resizing. You can output from Scrivener a document that is nearly ready or completely ready. Create an ebook, you can create a PDF, and then you are off and ready to, and so you don't have to include everything. So your research doesn't have to be in the output, but you select what you're outputting. And so maybe while you're in Scrivener, you're double or triple spacing things, but you're saying in my output, I want it to be Times Roman 12 point, and I want it to be, however much space between my paragraphs. I want these headings and all of this stuff. So Scrivener is just it's like a Swiss Army knife. It's awesome. And they give you a trial for 30 times. You can try it before you buy it. But it's like $30. So why would you not buy it?
Absolutely. That's a no-brainer. Especially when there's a tool that's like specifically made for authors and they keep making those upgrades to make it better and better for you, then why not, right?
I just know so many people who use Scrivener because it is so reliable. It makes a backup. You can back it up to Dropbox. You can, I do that because I'm a
Dropbox fan too.
I live in the fire zone in Northern California. And, and what I like about Scrivener too is, it's got more features than I use. But you can also, you can do all sorts of things with it. And Joseph Michael is one of the best instructors on using Scrivener. And that was really how he created his own business.
It sounds fantastic. And for a fiction and nonfiction writer like me, that would be a precious tool to use.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you guys, if you're still around watching, look in the description for links to connect with Judy and be a part of our community. Please hit like now to show support and subscribe to this channel to meet more fabulous people. We're not done yet. We have one bonus surprise. Judy, you mentioned that you're launching an exclusive community. I have many questions about it. Tell us more. Can you tell us why authors and writers should join? What is it all about? And what members can expect from this community? How is it going to benefit authors and writers looking to market their books effectively?
Well, thank you for that question. I've created a Book Buzz Cafe. Because number one, okay, I like props. I'm the queen bee of Book Buzz. But that being said, if I'm just buzzing around by myself, I'm not very effective. Book Buzz Cafe is a place that meets twice a month, and it's an open forum for asking questions, and there's going to be a tip similar to what I just did, and there's probably going to be some demos. I'm going to be bringing in guests who are experts as well. The real focus is on what are you doing to promote your book, and do you need some help? Here's a time saver for you. Here's a way to make it more effective. Here is a way to find out what other authors are doing, and does it apply to you? Because there's so many different choices, and I am an organic overpaid first. If you get your marketing working with organic tools, then you can add money to it. But I don't want to just say, oh yeah, go pay whoever, whichever social channel, give them a lot of dollars. Now, down the road, that might make a lot of sense. But things are shifting in the book marketing world and the book selling world. So for so long, we've been relying on other retailers to sell our books. Well, they're still going to be there, but now authors can sell their books directly. But that only really works if you've built your community and you've got some folks who are going to speak about you, who are going to share about you. So the Book Buzz Cafe is to bring all those little bees together. And together, we're building a beehive. We're making honey, and that honey is there because it rhymes with money.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah. So I want you to think about coming on board, checking it out. It's free right now. Be part of this. And it's about an hour, twice a month on Mondays. And I think it will help you as an author, whether you are just thinking about your idea, whether you're in the process of getting your book put together, or you've already published. You'll have a better sense of how do I build buzz for my book.
Wow, that is fantastic. Needless to say, I have already joined the Book Buzz Cafe. And as we record this coffee session, I'm looking forward to the first book buzz that's happening 2 sleeps away. So look in the description, connect with Judy and connect with me personally. We are looking forward. All the links are down there. If you're watching us a year after we record this, Book Buzz Cafe is still going to be on, and you can go to Judy's website and catch the link to sign up.